It was a terrifying encounter at Stillwater's Tumbleweed.
I don't know. I was like really shaken up and I just wanted to go home and get away from there.
What a man allegedly did that had people calling police. Plus a dangerous run from the law. How one wrong move brought all of this to an end. And a trade war with China causing turmoil in America's heartland.
President of the United States owes farmers like myself some type of plan of action.
The concerns now facing farmers. It's all right now at 5.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 5.
And thank you for joining us at this hour. It's 5 o'clock. I'm Eli Roberts.
And I'm Heather Holman. We're glad you're with us. An alleged fake cop arrested at a popular Stillwater event.
And tonight, Stephen Walker is facing charges for pretending to be a police officer at Tumbleweed.
News 4's Kelly Rolliard spoke to a student about her run-in with Walker. It's new at 5.
A fun event for students took a terrifying turn here in the parking lot of Tumbleweed Dance Hall when a man impersonated a police officer. One student we spoke with is still shook up.
It was really, really scary.
OSU freshman Katie Helmer says her first calf fry experience was horrifying.
I was like really shaken up and I just wanted to go home and get away from there.
She says this man, Stephen Walker, was going around the parking lot harassing people, including her friends. He also told them he was a security guard.
He couldn't give us any identification. So then he was giving us his driver's license.
Helmer's friend claimed Walker asked her to do inappropriate things.
He had found her keys and told her in order to get them back that she would have to take off all of her clothes and the guy that was with her would have to take off all of his clothes.
And she wasn't alone. Court documents state a witness saw several other individuals in the parking lot who Walker had tried to approach throughout the night. A woman told deputies that man made her stand against a car, at which point he knelt down and looked at her crotch with his flashlight. He also began staring closely at her butt with his flashlight, and the man slapped her butt. Thankfully, deputies arrested Walker for DUI after one investigator was nearly run over by Walker's truck. Helmer says although this was terrifying, she learned a valuable lesson.
Never walking alone and maybe keeping some form of pepper spray or something. Just be really aware of your surroundings and what's going on.
In Payne County, Kelly Rolliard, Oklahoma's News 4.
Walker also had a warrant out of Mays County, but right now he's still sitting in the Payne County Jail.
Well, the Highway Patrol has a busy day. After this chase that you're looking at right there, the person driving that car is now in jail. It's a rental car also, by the way. This footage is coming to us from Air Comfort Solutions Chopper 4. What a great bird's eye view of all the action. The Highway Patrol says that it all started in Grady County, but the trooper tried to stop the driver there and the driver took off. Yeah, got very rough. The chase ended up winding through I-44 right into Oklahoma City, speeds topping 150 miles per hour at some points. The driver, you can see him right there on the ground, but he was weaving in and out of traffic while he was still behind the wheel. Eventually, the driver did collide with an OHP cruiser. You just saw it. All of that happened near I-240 and Western, and it actually caused the car to spin out. The driver, who is Javante Barnes, was arrested on the spot, and troopers say that there were several items like clothes and purses in the car, which looks like they were stolen. There was also a passenger in that vehicle, but he's not going to be facing charges.
Now, first weather from the Forewarned Storm Team.
It's great to see the warm weather back, the dry weather back as well. There are a few storms out there right now. I'll show you where those are and where they're tracking here on this Monday. Let's take a look outside here in Oklahoma City. Mostly sunny skies, and we're up in the lower 80s now on our Monday afternoon drive. Thunderstorms now to the east of the metro and also to the northwest. The storms in northwest Oklahoma, a few of these are severe. Main threat is hail between 1.5 inches and 1.75 inches in diameter. Woods County very close to Waynoka right now, also on the west-northwest side of Viside. And hailstones here, a lot of dimes and nickels, a couple of areas of a little bit bigger. They're pulse severe. They attain severe levels for a fairly brief amount of time, and then they kind of redevelop and move on someplace else. Just there to the west side of Viside, that storm gradually shifting toward Viside, but again, 1.5 inch diameter hail is possible. Also near and to the west and to the south of Waynoka, going down the river valley there, tracking over towards southern Woods County and northwestern Major County up north of Bouse Junction, and to the east of the metro, scattered storms here, especially on I-40 near the Seminole exit over toward Okemah. Isolated severe storms the next several hours possible. possible main threat. Again, 1.5-inch diameter hail and a bit of wind. There's your evening forecast. I think the metro, we stay dry. Got storm chances on that 7-day. I'll have that coming up.
And Mike, all of that wet weather that we had over the past week, it is really creating some amazing sights. Take a look at this video. It is in northeast Oklahoma as crews are trying to avoid some serious flooding there. Now, what you are looking at is the Keystone Dam, and that is also the largest release of water in 26 years. The reason why lake levels are more than 20 feet above normal, and it's because of all that rain that we've had. The Arkansas River, which actually feeds right into Keystone Lake, is currently sitting around 13 feet higher than it should, or in general, but that's a lot higher than it should be. It's the highest, in fact, that it's been since 1995. If the river goes above 16 feet, there's also some concern that areas in rural parts of our state could flood.
Incredible video there, but in western Oklahoma, some small towns are noticing little, if any, water flowing from their faucets right now. It's all because of a water line break affecting parts of Kiowa County, including the towns of Sentinel and Rocky. Crews blame recent flooding and severe weather. They hope to have water flowing again by Tuesday or Wednesday. In the meantime, there is water available at the fire departments in Carter and Rocky, as well as at the sheriff's office in Hobart and at the city hall in Sentinel.
There are a lot of questions tonight. The state fire marshal is trying to pinpoint exactly what sparked a deadly house fire. This story takes us to the town of Verdon, that's actually in Grady County, and officials there say the fire started yesterday evening. Moments later, an oxygen tank inside that home exploded. Several people did make it out, but one man was not lucky. So far, his name has not been released.
On Crime Watch, 2 more people are now in jail for a Metro mom's murder. Police say Brandy Alden was shot and killed last Thursday at the MacArthur Park Apartments. On Friday, police arrested Dylan Schwenk following a short chase. Before Alden died, investigators say she identified Schwenk as her alleged killer. Today, we learned Dustin Turner and Tiffany Graves have also been arrested. They now face murder and robbery charges.
A Canadian County woman tied up and then her home ransacked. Tonight, deputies are trying to get to the bottom of how all of this happened. Investigators say it started as a home invasion earlier this month in a rural part of Canadian County. Now they want to speak to this man about the case. If you know who he is, you should give the Canadian County Sheriff's Office a call right now.
Oklahoma's economy is still in good shape, but the question now is for how long. Revenue was up for the month of April. That's according to State Treasurer Randy McDaniel. However, he says there are warning signs for the future. He points to a survey of business conditions, which McDaniel says has shown the possibility of an economic downturn. McDaniel also says they need to keep a close eye on housing permits and unemployment claims.
And from the Sky Center tonight, the trade war between the United States and China, it is becoming real with every moment that passes. China has retaliated against the United States for those tariffs that went into effect last week. Today, the country raised tariffs on $60 billion worth of U.S. goods headed to China. The news caused turmoil on Wall Street today. That is a look at where the Dow Jones is standing right now. At one point, it was actually down 700 points. For more on the growing trade war, here's Kristen Holmes in Washington.
World markets in turmoil as the trade war between China and the U.S. escalates. Trade talks between the two countries remain at a standstill. China announcing it was raising tariffs on $60 billion of U.S. goods, set to go into effect June 1st.
China will never yield to external pressure.
The move, retaliation for President Trump's hiking of tariffs from 10% to 25% on some $200 billion worth of Chinese exports. The president doubling down on his strategy.
We're in a very strong position. Our economy has been very powerful. Theirs has not been. Open your division or open up your product. Have it made in this country as opposed to made in China.
But experts say it's unlikely China will bend, a combination of culture and a political system allowing a long-term approach.
China has other options. It can invest in lots of other countries around the world.
The president's economic advisor acknowledging the escalation won't be very good for consumers.
It's U.S. businesses and U.S. consumers who pay, correct?
Yes, to some extent. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Again, both sides will suffer on this.
U.S. companies and farmers growing more concerned.
A few years ago, I was selling soybeans at $16.80 a bushel. Soybeans have dropped just below $8 a bushel. The President of the United States owes farmers like myself some type of plan of action.
In Washington, Kristen Holmes, Oklahoma's News 4.
And let's talk about Chelsea Manning, because she is now saying that she has no plans to testify to a grand jury about WikiLeaks. The former Army intelligence officer, who is also an Oklahoma native, actually spent 62 days in jail for refusing to testify, but she was released last week. Manning had served time earlier for leaking classified government documents to WikiLeaks, and she's been ordered to testify again, but she says it's not going to happen.
Also new at 5, former President Jimmy Carter is recovering from surgery after breaking his hip. It happened while he was leaving his home in Georgia this morning to go turkey hunting. His wife, Rosalind, is with him as he recovers. President Carter is 94 years old.
And we wish him the best of luck.
Definitely, for sure. Well, an Oklahoma man steps into a very unique industry.
And the person to dig it all up is Galen Culver, because he's going to be introducing us to a man who is actually following in his uncle's footsteps.
When Ace Grayson was learning how to shine shoes from his Uncle Otis, he trained on extra pairs donated to the cause. I'm Galen Culver on the Next Great State. A new shine on kindness. The Soul Brothers Grab and Go Shelf next on Oklahoma's News 4.
Is this a great state or what? Is sponsored by MeQ.
People in Oklahoma make all kinds of wild stuff, and of course, if there's one person to hash it all out, it's Galen Culver, because he's going all over the place to find the unique ones.
He always does the best at that. Tonight, he takes us to a new business in the stockyards where spit and polish come in pretty handy.
He's still learning the trade.
But yeah, I will surpass him.
Adrian Grayson, or Ace as his friends and family call him, had to sit patiently at his Uncle Otis' feet to find out how to make a towel sing.
Not even a towel.
And how to make a pair of shoes shine like brand new.
A good shine is taking pride in what you do.
Otis Gillum had to learn how to shine shoes at his own father's feet. Otis Sr., or Bill as his friends and family called him, had a shine parlor down the street for more than 30 years.
And taught us how to shine shoes, so that we'd have a skill and a trade.
The boots are 13s.
So welcome to Soul Brothers, another rare standalone parlor Otis and Ace had been talking about for years.
Keeping the legacy going.
Yeah, would you like a basic shot?
Otis knew Ace had the social skills to hold a short conversation, but he needed to know if his nephew could do the actual job.
There's something really therapeutic about sitting in a chair and getting your shoes shined. It really is.
Long before the first customer walked through their doors, he had Ace shining old pairs of shoes he had lying around. Some came from Goodwill, others from the back of the family closet.
And then we were saying, well, what are we going to do with all these shoes once they're done? We decided, let's just give them away.
That's how the grab-and-go shelf filled up.
Anybody that comes in, whether you come in to get a shine or whether you just walk through the door to say hi, you see someone on that rack you like, you can just pick them up and walk out with them. And that's just good to be able to give something back to the community.
The Soul Brothers shop opened at the end of March. They put in a machine for free coffee, a couple of couches for people to hang out.
Snow cone business has been booming.
Even a snow cone stand if customers wanted something cold. But word spread about the grab-and-go shelf. People with extra shoes brought them in. People with no extra shoes picked them up.
We're getting people calling every day pretty much to donate shoes for the grab and go because that's exciting to people. You know, you're giving something back. You're not just trying to take something in.
Otis' dad was famous for never turning away a stranger. The Soul Brothers welcome is the same, whether you have shoes or not. In Oklahoma City, Galen Culver, News 4. Is this a great state or what?
And the Soul Brothers Shine Parlor sits on Exchange Avenue just west of Agnew. A regular shine is $6. A spit shine is $7. And anything on the grab-and-go shelf is free. That is very unique and very generous.
Yeah, it is generous indeed. I didn't realize there was still such a thing as a spit shine.
You're going to go pay him a visit.
Indeed, yeah. Stay tuned. Weather's next.